The FBI now actually considers fringe conspiracy theories as a domestic terrorist threat. They actually put out a 15-page memo, and in that memo it warns anti-government, identity-based and, fringe political conspiracy theories very likely motivate some domestic extremists to commit criminal, sometimes violent activity. The memo cites, it's 15 pages as I said, but it cites, false conspiracy theories, QAnon and Pizzagate.
I agree with this report except for the false part. For me, Q is a real person.
Oh, stop it.
And so even though there aren't any basements under certain pizza restaurants, in those basements that don't exist but do, hashtag go see Stranger Things for Upside Down, that's how I justify it. There are these, that's what's so crazy about this.
Right.
Is how crazy it is.
How crazy it is. Okay, so the memo, this 15-page bulletin, it's actually the first FBI product examining the threat of conspiracy theory-driven domestic extremists and lists instances in which suspects plotted or carried out deadly violence because of false fringe theories that they had found online. The FBI assesses these conspiracy theories very likely will emerge, spread, and evolve in the modern information marketplace, occasionally driving both groups and individual extremists to carry out criminal or violent acts, saying these targets are then subjected to harassment campaigns and threats by supporters of the theory and become vulnerable to violence or other dangerous attacks. And also conspiracy theories being dangerous, it's nothing new at all. This memo acknowledges that, but it also emphasizes how today's information environment and crowdsourcing have changed the way the content more easily spreads and evolves, stating it is logical to assume that more extremist-minded individuals will be exposed to potentially harmful conspiracy theories, except ones that are favorable to their views, and possibly carry out criminal or violent actions, again, as a result. Also, I just wanna show you some QAnon supporters online who seem to feel, I don't know, betrayed by the federal government that they are, I guess, decided they are protecting in this theory.
No, you can show them to me, but I don't wanna.
Take a look at some of these tweets, because we have some interesting tweets to show you. I just want you to see how people who believe this, so Twitter user Travis View found this about
you invented the view.
The QAnon community. Let's look at some of these photos of these tweets we have. There you go, here we go.
FBI for the first time has identified a fringe, so here we go. And then it's just a dismissive attitude toward it. What the F, the FBI after us, question mark, Q soldier. And yeah, so mildly awkward FBI just included QAnon in a domestic terrorist threat assessment. So here's their logic. And again, just for the first time, I was kidding about.
He's being sarcastic, right? Because somebody's totally gonna clip that and use this.
No, so here's what it is built into their conspiracy theory is that you can't trust the FBI because of these deep state folks that are working so hard to, undercut the president.
I'm sorry, so I misunderstood. They're made up.
So they're made up. They make it up, but built into their logic is, if the FBI says something, they're lying because they're trying to get the president. So if they say something like this, which is proven, so Pizzagate happened. Pizzagate, there was a man who went to the place that Pizzagate was supposed to be going on. He had an assault style weapon, and when he realized that he had been had by a conspiracy theory group, he literally just surrendered and said he made a quote ill-advised decision. And that's what's happening here. These folks, and the ones seeding it are people who may or may not actually believe in the theory.
Right, so wait, Pizzagate wasn't proven. This memo, what this memo says about Pizzagate was
someone
proven.
was like, Pizzagate's real. He goes to the pizza restaurant in DC where they're supposed to have a weird Hillary Clinton child sex cult in the basement.
Right.
There is no basement, there is no sex cult. He just says, oh my gosh, that was embarrassing.
Right.
And you would think that that would have some minor effect.
But it didn't at all.
But it doesn't, and it's not that these conspiracy theories are circulating. Conspiracy theories have always circulated. It's the number of people who actually believe them and then worse, and most specifically, try to act on them. And that's what's frustrating. And it's because of this breakdown of, you used to see something in a newspaper, and if it was in a newspaper, you could believe it. If you saw it in a tabloid as you're checking out at the supermarket, you know it's ridiculous. There's also a bat boy on it. And it's like, Bat Boy strikes again. You're like, okay, this is made up, this is a joke and ridiculous. But people consume all their news in the same place now. So something from the New York Times will happen in your feed right before something from QAnon. And that legitimizes it. And so there are people out there who decide, oh, I'm gonna take this seriously because it was in the same place. I read the words printed all in a row, and Mark Zuckerberg put this on the internet.
Wasn't the synagogue shooter a QAnon supporter?
I don't know which one specifically, but there have been many that are.
The guy who went and shot and killed a mob boss.
Yes.
Believed in a conspiracy theory. I don't know if it has a specific name, but it was similar to QAnon.
Yeah. And so that's what's frustrating. And to all the QAnon conspiracy theorists out there, if I can get through to you, what do you think makes more sense? The fact that someone is actually propagating, or that there is a deep state out to get everyone, even though they're disproven at every single step of the way, or that there's this giant conspiracy out there that is actually working against it, and even though there is no actual proof.
Right, and you know what's so frustrating about this, that Jeanine Pirro, who was formerly a judge, which every time I say her name, that will just always be such a proof that our criminal justice system just has issues. But
no, that's her first name.
And
Judge Reinhold.
She was on Fox News just the other day talking about that there was truth, that the deep state exists. Also a conspiracy theory.
Well, that's what
and
happens.
Then the president retweeted it twice.
That's what we had Parker Malloy on to talk about, is that they start with something that's absolutely ridiculous and false and utterly disproven and indefensible, and no one can defend it. So they change the context in which it's used and then make it okay in their minds to repeat what it was.
It's so frustrating.
And so they keep repeating it for days, weeks, and hours, where you no longer need the whole context in which it originally appeared. They feel they can say words like deep state, they're gonna outlaw cows. These things that are so detached from any identifiable reality but it's somehow okay because now it's just lingo that the right uses to prove they're all on the same side. That's what's so frustrating about it.
Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.